Welcome, everyone, to the DUB Success Series, where we cultivate your belief system for success. I am your host, Y. Nelson Thomas, and I want to know, do you believe? Do you?
Do you believe? I want to know. Do you believe? 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 I want to know. Do ya?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go again with another episode of the Do You Believe Success Series, where we are here to cultivate your mindset and your belief system for success. I am your host, Y. Nelson Thomas, your lifestyle strategy partner, also known as Hydrate the Motivator, Mr. Do You Believe himself, and I'm so excited and honored as always to have you tuning in with us on another episode as I continue this 100-day podcast challenge. Dr. Eric Thomas put out a challenge that to do something for 100 days. That 100 days started on September the 16th and ends on Christmas Day. And on that day, you could wake up on Christmas Day and give yourself the biggest gift of all, sticking to something that you committed to and seeing it all the way through. And I'm super excited about the process. I can feel the growth every single day. I can feel myself growing as an individual, as a professional. And I'm also getting a chance to learn and work on different areas of my life. And one of those being sticking to what you start, finishing what you start. So I'm always excited to have the opportunity to do these podcasts because I certainly do realize that there's great value in the compound consistency of sticking to what you start. Also, if you've been listening, you know that I've been incorporating into the 100-day podcast challenge, the 40-day intimacy challenge as well, where I'm using the 40-day Love Dare as a guide to help establish a little bit more intimacy within the relationship between me and my wife. And on the weekends, I still and what I'm doing on the weekends is the weekends I try to change it up a little bit, and I try to stick to the Love Dare Monday through Friday, and then on the weekend I go back and review what I covered in the week to make sure that I'm still on track before I just continue to move on. So I think we ended with love promotes intimacy, and that was to determine to guard your spouse's secret, unless it was something that was dangerous or illegal. Then I don't know if you really want to guard that. And that could be simple as praying for them, talking with your spouse to resolve or demonstrate something in spite of their issues, and really listen and share your personal thoughts and struggles with them as you allow them to share their personal thoughts and feelings with you. And this makes both of you feel safe within the dynamic of your relationship. So that was the last one that we left off on. And now I think we're on day 18 of the 40-day Love Dare, where it says love seeks to understand. So you have to prepare a special dinner just for the two of you, or do something nice that focuses on getting to know your spouse a little bit better. I think that especially for couples who've been together for a while, we take for granted that there are things about our spouse that we don't know, or about our loved one, because I know everybody that's listening may not be married, may not be in a relationship, but there may be an intimate relationship, whether it be with a sibling, with a parent, or someone. There's something, no matter how long you've known someone, there's something about them that you just don't know. And the best way to get to know someone better, even if it is someone that you think that you know like the back of your hand, is to really sit down and just talk to them and determine what makes it an enjoyable event for your spouse. Really find out what it is that your spouse really likes and really enjoys, and find out some of those pleasures and things that you do that they really appreciate, so that way you can continue to do more of the things that they like. So that is the Love Dare. Also, for those of you who've been listening, you know that I talk about leadership a lot. Leadership is something that I'm fascinated by, because I have been in situations where my work environment has truthfully been corrupted because of the leadership that I was under. And when I was looking at leadership from a global perspective, looking at some of the leaders that we have out there, there are certain examples that I would not want to follow, and there are certain examples that I would not want my children to follow. So opposed to pointing fingers and talking about what another leader is doing and how they're conducting themselves, that's really not my position. I really don't want to get into anything that would be perceived as divisive. So my goal is not to focus on what other leaders are doing wrong, but focus on what, as a leader, I can do right. and what I can do to continue to cultivate myself as a leader and get better in the area of leadership. Because I think that no matter how long you've been in leadership or how great you think you are as a leader, there's always room for growth. And when you stop realizing that, that's when you stop growing and taking your leadership to the next level. Now, we left off with, and I'm also using the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell, which is known as a leadership Bible by a lot of organizations. And I know it's sold millions of copies worldwide and been translated into a number of different languages. So a lot of organizations around the world hold this book very near and dear when it comes to cultivating leadership. And I think we left off with the law of magnetism, if I'm not mistaken, which I think is law number 9, where it talks about birds of a feather flock together. And it's the basic law of attraction. You know, the things, and I say this all the time, I think it came from Bruce Lipton's The Biology of Belief, where it says the invisible nature of your mind creates your physical reality. So the things that you think about the most are going to be the things that you attract to you. So that was law number 9. This week, or today, I should say, we're going into the law of connection, where it says that great leaders touch a heart before they touch a hand. Great leaders touch a heart before they touch a hand. Now, you can't give what you essentially don't have. So if you want to connect with people on a deeper level, then we have to realize that you have to connect with them emotionally. You have to be willing to humble yourself and realize that even if you are in a leadership position by title, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are being the most effective leader and that you are connecting with those people that you are called to serve. So you want to go along, connect with people that you want to lead. So you can't just assume because you're in a leadership role that people are going to follow you, they're going to love what you do, they're going to respect you. No, you still have to be willing to connect with the people that you lead. And I've learned this from working at a corporate organization. I won't call out any names because I'm not here to point fingers, but I can definitely think of a scenario where I was interviewed for a position, and the person I was interviewed by 2 people. Both of them were in leadership as representatives of the organization. One of them really liked me. One of them did not like me at all. Either way, the one that liked me gave me the job and gave me opportunity to work for this organization. The one that did not like me sat probably about 10 to 15 feet away from me. And from the entire time that I worked there, this person would not say a single word to me. And it was funny because I started with the organization. I was real excited. I had that new, young, fresh energy coming into the organization, and I was really excited to be there. And I was really happy that those 2 people made the decision to bring me on as part of this organization, not knowing that one of them wanted to hire me and the other one didn't. So when I saw the person that didn't really like me at all, when I saw this person, I was really excited. And I knew that this opportunity gave me a chance to provide for my family and really put food on my table and pay my bills. So I was really excited. So when I saw this person, I wanted to show my gratitude by saying, hey, thank you for giving me the opportunity to work for this organization, not realizing that this person said, no, I don't think you should hire this guy. I really don't like him. Not knowing that at the time. So when I saw this person, I was happy. I had a big smile on my face, and they were, maybe 10, 15 feet away from me at the time. So I gave this big wave and I smiled, and the person ignored me. So I was like, well, maybe she didn't see me. So I kind of brushed it off the first time. And the second time I saw this person, the exact same thing happened. The third time it happened. The fourth time I was like, is it me or am I tripping or is it something that I'm missing? So I told one of my coworkers, I said, hey, I want you to watch this interaction and tell me, is it me or is it really something that's going on here? And sure enough, he says, no, it really is something that is happening because, maybe she doesn't like you. And come to find out, when I brought it to the attention of someone else, they said, yeah, man, I heard that she really doesn't like you. And what it did was it created this hostile work environment for me because her superior, the person that was over her, this person walked by me for a year. A couple feet away and would not say a word to me. And these are people who are in leadership positions. So what it did was it made me feel very vulnerable and very insecure within my workplace, to the point that I didn't feel as if I had job security, because I was feeling like, how could they possibly take into consideration who I am as a person if they won't even acknowledge me as a person? So for me, that particular situation created a lot of stress. It created a lot of insecurity and uncertainty, and it did not make me feel secure within my environment. So I want to say to you that if you are in a leadership role, that consider connecting with everyone, because I know that there may be situations where there may be people that you might not like as much as other people, but in a leadership role, it says, law number 2, I think it was that we covered, says leadership is about influence. And when you conduct yourself in a certain way, other people see that and they follow your lead as a leader, and it creates a hostile work environment that is not going to benefit the company, because now when you don't feel secure within your role, you start feeling insecure about your job, you don't feel that security, you can't perform at an optimal level. So essentially, their neglect to connect with me or show me any type of appreciation certainly impacted my performance, which impacted the bottom line. So if you want to make sure that the people that you're leading are performing on an optimal level, then you have to be willing to connect with the people that you lead. More connections is just a better impact for the entire organization. And always take the time, especially if you're a leader in a leadership role, always take the time to initiate the connection. Don't wait for someone that's under you to come up and initiate the connection. As a leader, initiate it. Understand that you have to meet people where they are. And the only way that you will ever be able to meet someone where they are is you will literally have to get to know that person as an individual and not just as a number. Because I know exactly what it feels like. And I can tell you this, that managers treat everyone the same and leaders treat everyone differently, because they understand that everyone is different. And when you look at a team, and I like to use a lot of sports analogies because I love sports, but when you look at a team, every person in every role is not going to be treated the same by the coach. You're going to see the linebackers are going to be treated different than the quarterbacks. Running backs are going to be treated differently than the wide receivers. Now, there's a certain zone of consistency that has to take place where you have to ground yourself in certain things like, honesty, integrity. Those things have to be consistent no matter who you're dealing with. But just in terms of each team, every role is different. Every person is different. Every requirement is different. Therefore, if you're managing people, you may attempt to treat everyone the same. But if you're leading them, you understand that different people have to be led differently, and you can't just cast one big net over everyone that is up under you and think that that's going to be what it takes for that person to perform at an optimal level. So today is the law of connection. Great leaders touch a heart before they help a hand. So I want to ask you, how can you better connect with the people that you lead? And it may not be, a leadership role in terms of your position at work. It may be a leadership role within your family, because if you have a spouse or kids, then you are a leader. If you are a father, a son, you are a leader, because leaders impact people regardless of their position. Leadership is not a positional thing. Leadership is an influence thing. And every single one of us are leaders. Now, the question is, what type of leader are you? So I want to ask you, what can you do? What is it that you can do to better connect with the people that you lead? I want to know, what is it that you can do to better connect with the people that you lead? Because it is true that you have to touch a heart before you can touch a hand. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and just a quick recap, love seeks to understand. So for those of you who are taking advantage of the 40-day intimacy challenge, then you certainly want to focus on getting to know your spouse better and talk about some of those rare areas that you don't talk about, and don't take for granted because you've been with someone for a long time that you know everything about them, because the truth of the matter is you don't. And also for those who are following the 21-day or the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership by John Maxwell, the law of connection. What can you do to better connect with the people that you are called to serve? Yes. Hey, for those of you who may be looking for additional leadership coaching, I do have an outstanding program. You can, as a matter of fact, you can just email me at motivation101, or you can, and that's at Gmail, motivation101 at Gmail, or you can visit my website directly at YNT, my initials, Y Nelson Thomas, YNTspeaks.com, and contact me. Shoot me a message. Let me know if you have any suggestions, questions, or anything that you think that can make these podcasts better. I would certainly love to know, and certainly do whatever I can to make sure that I'm adding value. And I hope that everyone who is taking the time to listen to the podcast find some value in each episode. I'm working my way through it, and my ultimate goal is to get better. And I want to encourage someone out there to start something that you want to do, and don't wait till the perfect time. Don't wait till you get it perfect. Just start somewhere. That's what I did with this podcast. I record this podcast, edit it, upload it. I do everything straight from my iPhone. One day, hopefully, I'll have a big podcast studio where I'll be able to bring in guests directly and have multiple microphones and all this stuff set up. But you know what I did? I went on Amazon. I bought a little microphone. I plug it right into the bottom of my iPhone, downloaded an app, couple apps, and there it is, off and running. I do everything from my iPhone. And if I waited till everything was perfect, guess what? I would never start, because perfection doesn't exist. Improvement does. So I want you to stick to something, find something that you really want to do, and just get started. Stop trying to be so perfect, because perfection truly does not exist. It's a dream. It's a fallacy. It's something that we all want, but truthfully we will never achieve. So don't worry about being perfect. Just worry about getting started, so that way you will have something to improve upon. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of the Do You Believe Success series, as we are here to help cultivate your mindset and your belief system for success. I have some great guests that will be coming up real soon, and I'm super excited about that. So stay tuned, and I'll also be letting you know when those guests will be on and what we'll be discussing. I'm thinking I'm going to get through the 21 days of the leadership challenge, and then once I get through that, then we're going to start bringing our guests on, and hopefully you'll be able to take a lot of great information away from them as well. But until the next time, thank you so much for tuning in to the Do You Believe Success series, where we are here to cultivate your mindset and your belief system for success. And once again, I want to ask you, we are doing the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, the law of connection. So I want to leave you with the question, two questions. The first question is, what can you do to better connect with the people that you lead? And the last question is always, I want to know, do you believe? Do you? Huh? Do you?
Do you believe? I want to know.